soma soma kijana masiku zazi.
Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. So today I want to start tutorial with two guiding questions, and question number one is, by the end of this tutorial we should be able to state the two blood proteins that are responsible for the blood group of a person. We are able to name the types of antibodies present in blood group A, blood group B, blood group AB, and blood group O. Now, there is this scientist known as Carl Landsteiner who did a series of experiments, and he realized that there are some factors in red blood cell membrane and blood plasma that are responsible in blood grouping. And these are the factors today that we are going to focus on, and using them we will be able to place blood groups of human being into four different categories. In his experiment, he discovered factors in red blood cells and factors in blood plasma. All right, guys. So he discovered that in red blood cells, these factors are called antigens, and rhesus factor. So let's start rhesus factor. We shall consider it in our subsequent tutorials, but today I want us look at antigen. So in blood plasma, he also found factors that he referred to as antibodies. So based on these two findings, the ABO system came into being. So in a series of experiments, he discovered some factors. And the factors are these ones that we have mentioned. So ABO system is based on two factors, just like the one we have mentioned up here. So the first factor, RBC, as either one, both, or no antigens. And these antigens are either antigen A, capital A, or antigen B, capital B, in their cell membrane. Another factor is that blood plasma has either one, both, or no antibodies. And these antibodies are known as small or lowercase a or lowercase b. Therefore, based on these two factors, blood of human being can be placed into four groups. Either the type of antigen present in the red blood cell, and the type of antibody present in the blood plasma. So the four blood group is based on type. It's based on type of antigen present in on the red blood blood cell membrane. Red blood cells membrane. Or the type of antibodies present in blood plasma. So another factor that is very crucial, and as I mentioned earlier, that we are going to consider that in our subsequent tutorials, is another factor is the rhesus factor. So we have just said that depending with the type of antigen present in the membrane of the red blood cell, and even the type of antibody present in the blood plasma, and the rhesus factor, which we will consider in our later tutorials, we can group the human blood into 4 categories. Now, before we do that, because now we know whatever is present in the red blood cells membrane is either antigen A or antigen B, and the rhesus factor, which we'll consider later, blood plasma as antibodies, lowercase a and lowercase b. So based on this, then if for example we have the antigen, the column for the antigen, the column for the antibody, and then the column for the blood group. First column is for the antigen present in the red blood cell membrane. Another column is for the antibody present in the blood plasma and the corresponding blood group. Because today we want to understand the place, the 4 types of blood group. Now, if there is presence of antigen A in the red blood cell, then we will have antibody B, and the corresponding blood group will be blood group A. I know you have heard of people with blood group A. So, if in case the red blood cell of a person contains antigen B, then the antibody present in the blood plasma should be antibody A. And then now the corresponding blood group will be blood group B. Suppose the red blood cell of a person has both antigen A and antigen B. So this means that in the blood plasma of that person will not have any of the antibodies. And the corresponding blood group will be blood group A, B. What if the red blood cell of another individual lacks any of the antigen A or B? Then it means that in the blood plasma of that person will have both antibody A and antibody B. And the corresponding blood group as a result of that will be blood group O. I know you are wondering, why is it when there is presence of antigen A, there in red blood cell there is presence of antibody B, and the vice versa? This means that if I can refer you back to the white blood cells, remember we said that white blood cells are the ones that are, or they are also called leukocytes. They are the ones that are responsible in fighting pathogenic microorganisms. All right. So white blood cells, they fight disease-causing microorganisms in 4 ways, and one of the 2 ways is by use of antibodies. So in the first case, they produce antibodies that produce antitoxins that neutralizes the toxins produced by disease-causing microorganisms, and by doing so, they are able to kill the pathogenic microorganisms. Another thing is by producing agglutinates. Sorry, I forgot to tell you that the antibodies present in the blood plasma and that are responsible for the blood grouping are also known as agglutinates. So, The one way of how white blood cells that kills the pathogenic microorganisms is by producing agglutinates. Agglutinates are the ones that when they are present, they causes clumping of pathogenic microorganisms, and they stop them. They stop the pathogenic microorganisms from multiplying, and hence they die. So what happens? The presence of antigen and its corresponding antibody causes the red blood cell to clump together, and when they clump together, they make the supply of oxygen becomes insufficient, or there is little amount of oxygen that is supplied in the body, and at the same time the clumping together blocks the blood capillaries, and this reduces the amount of blood that is transported around the body, and this one can lead even to death. So that is the reason, that is the basic reason as to why the presence of antigen and its corresponding antibody can never occur in same person's body. So if in case now we have antigen A and its corresponding antibody A, so these two, they will cause antigen-antibody reaction. So when there is reaction, just like I have said, it will cause the red blood cells to clump together, a process known as agglutination. And when this occurs, there is insufficient supply of amount of oxygen, which can lead to death, because the same clumped red blood cells, they block the blood capillaries, hence less amount of body, hence less amount of blood supplied to entire body. So we said by the end of today's tutorial, we should be able to name the type of antibodies present in blood group A, B, and O. Now, if you look at, maybe if you consider when there is present of both antigen A and B, there is no antibody. Because if we have antibody A, it will cause antigen-antibody reaction with antigen A. If we have antibody B, it will cause antigen-antibody reaction with antigen B, and therefore it will cause agglutination. That is why we are saying in the same person's body or in the same person's blood stream, we cannot have the antigen A and B and then we have antibody A and B. It will cause agglutination, and we know the danger can be even very fatal. Okay? So if the blood stream of an individual doesn't have any antigen, then the blood plasma can comfortably have both antibody A and B. This is because there is no antigen present to cause agglutination. But when the blood stream of an individual has got both antigen A and B, we should not have any antibody, because antibody A and B will cause an agglutination with either antigen A or antigen B. So therefore, the blood group AB doesn't have any antibody, because presence of any antibody, which are A and B, will cause agglutination in the antigen present A and B. So having said that, we are able to answer the questions that we started with in this tutorial. That the antibody present in blood group A is B, antibody present in blood group B is A, antibody present in blood group AB is none, because we have said, of course, it will cause agglutination, and antibody present in blood group O is A and B, because there is no antigen present in the red blood cell of that individual to cause agglutination. And another question we asked ourselves: what are the protein present in the blood of an individual that determines the blood group. We have said, and we have said, it is the antigen A and B. So the presence of antigen A brings about blood group A, the presence of antigen B brings about the blood group B, and the presence of both antigens A and B gives us the blood group AB, and the absence of antigen both A and B, then the corresponding blood group is O.